Good morning and welcome back to another episode of Business Beyond the Beach in partnership with our friends here at Miami Community Newspapers. My name is Brittnie Bassant, President and CEO of the Miami Beach Chamber of Commerce, and today I'm here with CJ from Raising Cane's. CJ, so great to have you on the show.
So great to be here. Man, we are excited to be talking about Raising Cane's here in South Florida in Miami Beach. Excited to share so much about our brand today with you.
Well, let's get right into it. So let's talk about the origin of Raising Cane, sort of like the history of the company. Tell me a little about the name, because I know that's a beautiful tie-in. Like, I just want to know all things Raising Cane's.
Absolutely. So, Raising Cane's was founded back in August of 1996. Todd Graves is our founder. He originally opened up our first Raising Cane's down in Louisiana, in Baton Rouge. Cane's was named after his Labrador Retriever, which is a pretty special story to us here at Raising Cane's. We opened up that first restaurant so many years ago, and since then we've opened up almost 1,000 restaurants nationwide. So we've had a lot of growth, which I'll get into in a little bit. But a little bit more about the story. We share the story quite a bit. We share it with our community. We share it with our new crew and our new managers that start up with us. We keep it very close to our heart. It's part of what really drives us as a brand. Todd didn't have all the funding that he needed to start his first Raising Cane's, so he worked some high-paying, dangerous jobs to get there. One was a deep-sea Alaskan sockeye salmon fisherman. He actually camped out on the frozen tundra, true story, for about 30 days waiting for a ship. Finally got onto a ship and was able to, be that Alaskan deep sea fisherman to create some capital for that first Raising Cane's. He also was out in California after the deep sea fisherman trip, and he became a boilermaker. So he was a coal miner for a short time. Also a very high-paying, dangerous job. He was able to create enough capital to open that first Raising Cane's in Louisiana. Since then, we've opened up 960 restaurants. We're looking to go worldwide, and super excited about the growth down here in Florida and South Florida.
That is absolutely amazing. It's not easy to be an entrepreneur. So, kudos to him on everything that he was able to do and accomplish, and really believing in what he wanted to do. And by all means necessary, right? You have to do what you have to do what it takes to be able to take that leap and take that step. So kudos to your founder. And I'm sure that work ethic and that mindset trickles down to everyone on the team at Raising Cane. So I think it says a lot to him and his leadership, and then what the company stands for and represents. I want to talk a little bit, though, about your journey with Raising
Sure.
Cane's. So tell me about your role, and then sort of like how you've journeyed through the company in your career.
Yeah, so I just hit my 4-year anniversary mark in March, so that was exciting for me. I started with Raising Cane's actually in a different role. I was an area leader of training. I'm currently the area leader of restaurants, so back into operations. The unique support system that Raising Cane's has for our restaurants is very different from other brands and companies out there. We have what's called a business unit team that supports every restaurant. So this business unit team really comprises of a marketing area leader, a recruiting area leader, an operations area leader, and a training area leader, as well as a growth area leader for future growth. The whole purpose of this team is to support the heart of our business, which is the restaurant. So each one of these business unit teams has an area. So our area down here in Miami is really the Miami market right now. Again, with Cane's 4 years, I made the leap into the area leader of restaurants about 3 years ago. And my job really is to support twofold: the restaurants, obviously, right? Make sure we are serving the best craveable chicken finger meals that we have while giving the best service that we can. And growing our restaurants down here in Miami, while also serving and supporting my business unit team to support our restaurants and our growth and our initiatives down here.
And I want to talk about the Miami Beach store in a little bit, because there was something very special about the Miami Beach location. But how many locations do you have across Miami-Dade County, for those that are watching?
Absolutely. So I'd love to talk about, right now we have 5 throughout Miami-Dade. However, we are looking to expand pretty rapidly. So 31 in the state of Florida, which has happened in such a short time. I feel like it was just yesterday when we were opening up Homestead, which was the staple in South Florida, the first restaurant in Florida actually just a short time ago, 4 years ago, and now we have 31 restaurants all throughout. The state of Florida, the East Coast, the state of Florida, as well as South Florida and Miami-Dade is a heavy growth market for us. Down in South Florida, we are looking to build anywhere from 4 to 7 restaurants per year. It's a robust outlook. We have room to grow for sure. Our most recent opening was actually in Coral Gables down here in South Florida, which is doing tremendously well for us down in the Gables. So really excited about the growth down here.
Amazing. That's incredible. And so let's talk about the Miami Beach restaurant, because there's something really, really special and really unique about that one. So tell me.
It is. So we have 6 what we call flagship locations throughout the country. The purpose of these flagship locations is really to drive growth. It's to drive international growth. It's to drive growth domestically. You can walk through the dining room of our Miami Beach restaurant at any given time and talk to our customers, and they're all from somewhere else in the world. As I've talked about, we are looking to continue to grow internationally outside of the Middle East. We're looking to grow in Canada. We're looking to grow in Europe. So a location like Miami Beach is going to fuel that growth. We opened up in 2022 down in Miami Beach. We were if you go into our restaurant, it is themed very differently. It kind of has the Miami feeling to it.
It definitely has the Miami Beach vibe.
Absolutely.
And you're not walking into like your typical Raising Cane's.
Absolutely.
There's a DJ booth in there, right?
We have a DJ.
It's a place to go on a Friday night in Miami Beach.
Absolutely. We have a DJ, so it's got a whole vibe to it there. We have the Miami Vice colors going throughout, the huge oversized disco balls.
Got tons of merch in there too.
Tons of merch for our customers to purchase and take home with them. So it's very unique. We take a lot of pride in what we do in that restaurant. And it's been an honor for me to operate it these last couple of years.
So you talked about that, like the global growth. And I heard you mention like the Middle East. Where do you think, as the first market that was in order, is that where you think your first international location would be?
So we already are in the Middle East.
There.
We're already there.
Never mind. I thought, oh my goodness. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, we're already there. We're looking at some robust growth going on in Europe as well as Canada.
Exciting.
So there's a lot
already
coming.
Global. Okay.
There's a lot coming.
You've already gone international. That's amazing. That's incredible.
Yep.
Okay, so you think about Raising Cane's. All right, at least I think a lot of people think about Raising Cane's and they see, fast food restaurant. You see, we're talking about the restaurants, we're talking about the growth, we're talking about all of those things, and that's incredible. It's amazing. One of the reasons that I truly love working with you guys and I love what you stand for is because you have such an incredible philanthropic arm. Your give back to the community is so important. There are so many causes that you guys care about and that you support. So let's talk about that, because I think it's really, really important for our audience and our guests to know it's more than just a restaurant. It's more than just like a fast food place where you go and get a meal. It really is a cornerstone of the community and invests and give back and cares about what we do here. So let's talk about that.
Absolutely. Some of our pillars right now include feeding the hungry, entrepreneurship, education, active lifestyles, as well as pet welfare. And you see that in everything that we do. Our restaurant leaders, even at the ground level, and our restaurant leaders are the general managers who run each restaurant, they get one day a week where they're able to get out into the community. So we want them to connect.
Wait, every week?
Every week.
You encourage your restaurant leaders
Correct.
to leave and go out into the community and support philanthropic efforts.
Leave the restaurant, go connect with the community. Now, it's very strategic, right?
That's incredible. But you don't hear, you hear companies saying, okay, like we'll support you and we'll work out a schedule, but sort of like that once a week, that's amazing.
It is. And it's very strategic, and our area leader of marketing helps support that. But they're able to come back and share, some of the return on investment that they're getting, some of the relationships that they're building, whether they're building large orders for their restaurant, whether they're driving fundraising efforts, or maybe creating a sponsorship for the future. But they're out there connecting with their community. So it gives that personal approach. It's a lot like Todd did in the first Raising Cane's. What really makes Cane's unique, in my opinion, is that we still do a lot of our founding, all of our values that we had in the beginning that Todd wanted his restaurant to perform. Everything that he wanted to execute, you still see it at the ground level now in all of our restaurants. Our community is very, very important to us.
And I think that's a really great segue into, let's talk a little bit about your company culture. You've touched on it a little bit, but let's really dive into sort of the company culture and any sort of fun facts that you might have about Cane's or about the culture at the company.
Sure. So listen, I think, culture occurs when you have kind of this environment of success and winning. We have a robust pipeline of development from within our restaurant. So any restaurant that you go to, we are developing what we call our crew, which are our hourly employees. We are developing them into leaders, into managers.
You're investing
we're
in
investing.
your employees. And
We're
that's
investing.
so important. I think a lot of companies miss the mark on that.
100%.
But for you to immediately say we're, developing our crew and turning them into the leaders, the next leaders, that's so important.
100%. And I think that's truly what drives culture, right? When I started with Cane's, everybody told me all these amazing fun facts about Cane's, and I thought, wow, this sounds really good. But I didn't experience it yet for myself. I was day one, week one, just starting out. But being able to be part of the culture that we have, the culture of success and the culture of development, I've been a part of that as well, right? So if we think about the development pipeline and the growth that we have for our managers, looking at the last couple openings we've had at South Florida, we opened up 80% plus internally developed. So we're looking at 10 to 12 managers that all came from within our area here in South Florida. And then when those managers get promoted, that creates opportunities behind them to promote more leaders behind them. So that, to me, is what really drives the culture.
Well, because you're showing your crew, your team, the individuals that work for you, that it can be more than just a job. It could be a career. It could really be this incredible growth track if they want it, because the company is going to invest and give them those opportunities. I think that's really, really, really important. You don't see a lot of that these days, especially in the industry that you're in. Let's be honest with it. The restaurant industry is, it's constantly turning over, it's constantly moving. And so how do you keep the right people and how do you give them opportunities for growth? It seems like you guys have figured out the secret sauce on that one.
100%. Restaurant business is a gritty business.
Yeah.
And I think we have. I think we've kind of cornered the market with that. We take pride in retaining our managers. We take pride in having very low turnover. We were just named one of the best workplaces, top workplaces once again down here in South Florida.
Congratulations. What an incredible accomplishment.
Yeah, we love to hang our hat on that. There's just so much opportunity here. That's what I explain to managers when I hire them or when I promote them. I tell them, like, this is the first step in many steps for your growth moving forward. So it's exciting for us.
That's incredible. Okay, so we touched a little bit about like the importance of community partnerships and the importance of, again, you encourage your restaurant leaders to get out and connect and be a part of the community. I want to really narrow that down and hone in on the Miami Beach Chamber of Commerce. You guys have been pillar members since you opened your location in Miami Beach. Thank you so much for your support of the chamber. Not only have you been pillar members of the chamber, but you've been really like active supporters and partners in all of our initiatives. You always support our holiday toy drive. You support our Heroes Breakfast, our Teacher of the Year. Anytime we call Raising Cane's for anything, the answer is always yes. So tell me about why it's so important for you guys to be a member of the Chamber of Commerce, how you've seen that help grow, especially the Miami Beach location.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, listen, I think number one, we really enjoy being a part of the Chamber of Commerce. It really helps us build the relationships within the community. It helps us build the relationships within other hospitality companies, other restaurants that are on the beach. The beach is somewhat its own island, literally.
It
right?
quite literally is an island. We say that all the time. We're always like, how do we bridge the bridge, guys? Yes.
Yeah. So part of that is this relationship that we have with the Chamber of Commerce. It really creates that sense of community in an area that is so touristy, right, and so transity. So I think it helps us build those relationships, and we'll continue to be a part of it.
It's amazing. We're getting ready to wrap up a little soon, but with regards to Raising Cane's, are there any upcoming promotions, specials, events, any initiatives that you guys have going on? Is there anything you want to really talk about that's coming up? I know we talked about like in the future and expansion and global growth, but just sort of locally here in the community. Anything exciting that you guys are doing?
Yeah, I mean, listen, we don't do a ton of like local promotions. We do a lot of national, advertising, different initiatives that come down that we do nationally. Right now for us, it's all about the growth. It's about supporting some of these new restaurants that are coming down the pipeline. I think there's no marketing like opening up a new restaurant in a new community in South Florida, and then just giving out the best possible service and quality chicken fingers that we can. We have several openings slated for the rest of the year down here. We have Kendall coming up. We have, if we look into next year as well, we have Hialeah, we have North Miami Beach.
Okay, exciting. So we've got Kendall, Hialeah, North Miami Beach. Where in Kendall, just in case people want to know?
88th,
88th
where everything
Street.
is.
That's a good place to be. That's a great place to be. That's exciting. And when do you think that's going to come online? Fall?
We're looking at the beginning of next year.
Oh, okay.
And there's a little bit of movement going on.
Okay.
But by the beginning of next year, we'll see a lot of these restaurants pop up.
Amazing. Yeah. How exciting. Okay, so my last question to you is if you can go back to the start of your career and talk to your younger self, what piece of advice would you give yourself?
Absolutely. I've been doing this a long time. Something I teach my younger leaders coming up is the art of listening. And if I was talking to my younger self, I think I learned this early on through bumps and bruises, but there is so much value in truly listening to people. I think that, as a leader, we're honed to give a lot. I give a lot of direction out to my team. Sometimes it's good just to be silent and listen until you almost have that uncomfortable silence. I think listening is a underused, undervalued skill. You can find out so much when you truly are an active listener. That's what I would offer to my younger self.
I love that. There's this old adage that talks about listening to understand versus listening to respond. And I think, unfortunately, society has conditioned us to listen to respond. Like, you have to have a response. You have to be able to say something. But truly just listening to understand, I think you're right, is an underrated, underused skill. So thank you for reminding us of that, CJ.
Spot on.
And that has been another episode of Business Beyond the Beach. Thank you, CJ, for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show. Thank you guys for watching. Again, Business Beyond the Beach in partnership with our friends here at Miami Community Newspapers. You guys stay tuned for another episode next week.